Our CEOs of the largest African and international companies, political decision makers from more than 40 African countries, and the most active bankers and investors on the continent will gather on the 20th and 21st of March in Geneva, Switzerland, for the 5th edition of the Africa CEO Forum. The Africa CEO Forum is a unique platform for discussion and debate around the economic and industrial challenges facing the African continent. This year's theme is Rethinking Africa's Business Model. What are the expectations from this forum? Let's talk to the CEO RAC Center, a Tier 3 data center service provider here in Lagos, Mr. Ayotunde Koka. Thank you very much, Mr. Koka, for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Now, Rethinking Africa's Business Model, that's the theme of this year's Africa CEO Forum. So what new thinking do you see or want to see in the area of data technology and data management?
Well, we have a great opportunity in Africa to use technology to drive growth on the continent. If you look at some broad statistics, for instance, in the world, Africa is about 16% of the world population, but only around about 3.2% of world GDP. So we've got this prosperity gap. How do we close it at the same time where the rest of the world is still growing? So we've got to bring in this kind of solutions and the business models that will allow Africa to really get a growth trajectory that closes that prosperity gap. So that's the opportunity, I guess. I mean, we have a continent of about, what, an average or median age of about 18 to 22, but still quite young. So that should be the demographic benefit that we should get, the blessing. So how do we do that? We need to rethink the business model. You've got the AFDB's high fives, I think they call them. One of them's the lighting up Africa, one's industrializing Africa. So how do you industrialize? I mean, industrial economies need, and they've shown they need underlying technology to be successful. So technology in digitalization and fintech, which brings in a lot of the population into financial inclusion, are going to be key components of getting that growth trajectory that we need in Africa. So these are the kind of things that, if you look at the agenda, are going to be discussed by a good broad range of leaders, both in government and in the private sector in Geneva. Where do we play from an infrastructure point of view? RAC Center is the most connected data center in Africa. It's an example of what you would, it's a bit like some of the data centers you now have in the US and so on that carrier neutral. They're real points of delivering core technology infrastructure for people to host their systems and to bring in connectivity that allows other players from around the world to serve the Nigerian, the African economy.
Right.
And if you look at where we're located, actually, it's sort of, we were blessed with geophysical location in Nigeria, in Africa and the world. Nigeria is just bang in the middle of everything. And we're able to, we have over 25 carriers in Nigeria connected. But we connect every single country on the South Atlantic coast of West Africa directly through fiber, through undersea cable fiber. All the fiber connectors are in there. So the role we play is now bringing into Africa core underpinning infrastructure that allows African players to have a homegrown technology, allows us to bring cloud services into Africa. So even our African SMEs, their point of entry into using technology is significantly reduced. I think what we offer will transform the SME base in Africa, for instance. So those are kind of key changes you're seeing in Africa to allow us to get the trajectory we need for growth.
Now, Mr. Koka, how can Africa business CEOs and, of course, top executives apply technology, to drive new decisions?
Well, you're getting key aspects of transformation now. Cloud technology is one. Cloud is a general catch-all. And basically what it means is having shared services. If you had your email, for instance, or Gmail or Hotmail and so on, those are cloud services. You now have corporate systems. That means you don't have to build your own. You can actually just use enterprise resource planning systems that are available in cloud and also email systems, productivity systems that are available in the cloud. Companies now have access to that. The cost of entry is you pay as you go, pay as you grow. So the capital expenditure thresholds you have are now being removed by shared services. It's the same thing with a data center. A big bank, for instance, or a big oil and gas company or corporate and so on, do not have to build their data centers. They collocate with a place like Rack Center, for instance. They get their IT services moving. They pay. They can scale as they need to scale. And we have those capabilities here in Africa, in situ. They will be transformative for Africa.
Right. Now, just before I let you go, what would be the new learning curve for you, at this forum?
Yeah. Africa is diverse. We're a diverse continent of nations, Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone. What I see is an opportunity to engage with other leaders in Africa, to get their perspectives. Just checking our perspectives as well, actually, because we certainly look at how we serve Africa as a company. And engaging with a broad range of leadership that we have there gives us a view in terms of what the thinking is in Africa with other executives. But the key thing also is that we're part of a leadership quorum, I guess, that has to work together to transform our continent. And we have to build this growth trajectory, as I said, to allow us to close that gap we have with respect to our population in line with our GDP. I'm looking forward to engaging with other executives to hear what they say. There's some fantastic sessions, actually, during the 2 days there in Geneva, and to understand the key points of intervention that we need to have, and business opportunities also for us in Africa.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. It's nice having you in the studio.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Great talking to you.
Right. You're welcome. That was Ayotunde Koka, the CEO, Rack Center here in Lagos. We move on now. ExxonMobil Corporation, the world's biggest publicly traded oil producer, has agreed to pay Italy's Eni $2.8 billion for a 25% stake in the giant Mozambique gas field to strengthen its position supplying rich Asian markets. Eni is currently the operator of Mozambique's Area 4 license, which, with 85 trillion cubic feet of gas in place, is one of the world's largest gas discoveries in recent years. The offshore reserves are big enough to supply Germany, Britain, France and Italy with gas for nearly 2 decades, with a string of giant onshore and offshore liquefied natural gas plants whose proximity to fast-growing consumer markets in Asia make the project highly lucrative. The deal will put Exxon in charge of developing one of the world's biggest new sources of LNG after trailing peers such as Royal Dutch Shell, which is doubling down on the growth potential of gas as the world switches to cleaner burning fuels. And that's it on the program for today and, of course, for the week. Thank you very much for being part of it. I'm Chimeze Obi. Welcome.